Yeah. How long you had it?
Actually not real long. I got it probably back in the summer.
Yeah. So it's here, and we just got it up a tiny bit here. We're going to go up a little more and pull the trailer out from under it.
There's another video on YouTube that shows the guy lifting it up with this way.
Yeah.
He built a
There. Okay. But it's on rollers. The other thing is if I could put a 2x4 in front. Yeah, that's it. Well, got her in. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show too much with the gantry. My camera quit like 30 seconds into the video. Really wanted to capture lifting this up. I got just a little bit started to lift and the camera quit, but oh well. Anyways, it's here. It's in the shop. I still got to get it to the back of the shop, but right now I've been going over it the last 2 days. And overall, I'm very happy with what I've seen. Appears to be in pretty good shape. A couple of little minor things. Some I knew about. The nuts that retain the articulation here. I think they were stripped or something. The previous owner had double nutted these, so I'm assuming they got stripped. So I may have to remake these T-nuts that go in here. I think it's a T-nut. It probably fits in a slot in there. Either that or I'll get new ones. But it should be simple enough just to make that. And they're functional right now, but obviously there's some kind of a little weakness there. It's minor. All the speeds and feeds work. The rapids work on it. I haven't found anything missing on there. Now I don't have three-phase power in here, but what I did is I set up a rotary phase controller, the rotary phase converter. Now this is really undersized for what I'm trying to do here. This is just an old three-phase motor I had kicking around. This was given to me from my work. It was enough to, I can start the hydraulic motor, the knee motor that does all the feeds and the rapids, and it will start the motor on the overarm for the overhead cutter. It is not enough to start the main motor for the horizontal spindle. I can get it to start the spin, but it won't get fast enough to catch and really run full speed. And because it's running slow, it draws too much current and then it trips out. But I know the gears are good because I've gone through all the gears and just manually rotated by hand. This spins really easy with the clutch engaged, and confirm that all the gears are good. There's nothing stripped out or anything like that. So I'm going to bring it back to the front, and I'll just show you a little bit of the movement on it. And also, I got a couple cutters with it. Let's see if we can see this here. I got 2 arbors that are here, and I should have another 2 arbors coming. When he brought this up, he did forget a couple of things, and they're supposed to be sent back up. Okay, so I'm going to start the knee motor. This came with 2 really nice cutters that were delivered, and I should have one more coming. This is a 4-inch base mill cutter. It's a real Kennametal, so really nice quality. And then this guy is a beast. This is over 6 inches. Now, the inserts that are in this were originally in this one, but it was short one of the 7 that go in here. That one only takes 6, so I moved them into there, so I have one that's complete. And I'm going to get inserts for this and order the hardware, the screws that go in there. But again, this is really nice. It's just huge. So this is actual feed. I've got it on its highest setting. We've got our feed speeds down here. Okay, so we got that. And got a rod. Sometimes you can land on top of the teeth, so it doesn't want to engage. If you're in an operation where you can't do the little jig, you can always do a manual feed just to get it off the tube and then engage it. So that's not an issue. It's just, you know, like on a standard transmission, sometimes you land on the top of the gear if you're standing still. But it all works good. Right there. On the slower speeds, there's a clutch on this side, which when you're doing the feeds, it's actually not a mechanical clutch. It's operating on a hydraulic valve down here that's electric. It is a mechanical clutch for the horizontal spindle. They work in tandem. The switch is attached to that clutch. Now, the slower speeds, I can leave the clutch engaged and just move this, but on the higher speeds you can feel it kind of clash on the gears. So I think it's best just to use the clutch on the higher gears. It's probably okay, but I'd rather not. I don't want to wear the teeth engagement out. Okay, so we get the knee yet, and okay, this one's the knee. And down. Okay, I'm going to slow this down now. Okay, so now we're on 1 1/4 inches per minute. And okay, you probably can't even see that moving, but it is moving. It's a very slow movement. So like I said, 1 1/4 inches per minute, 1 3/4 inches per minute. So here we've got our rapids. All I do is just flip this, and we got a rapid traverse on it. It also works on the knee, but right now where I'm limited on power, it struggles on the lift. But it'll go down. I think it's going to stall going up. On the feet it'll do it because it's gear blowing up. But with the rapids it's too much. Yeah, it stalls on that. So what I'll do here, I'm going to go to neutral. I'm just going to put it on a high feed rate. Alright, so go up. So that's the regular feed, and we're going back up. Now on that rapid raising, it's not a problem with the machine. I just don't have enough electrical power to drive it right now. We got a nice vise here. I believe this is the original Cincinnati vise. This measures 8.5 inches across here, so it's really big. Okay, so this is one of the key things that got me interested in this machine. Most of the Cincinnatis just have the right angle and another angle here that goes down, but there's no quill on them. They're a fixed height when you do it, and all your Z-axis has to be done by raising and lowering the knee. But this one also has a movable quill, which has about 3.5 inches of movement on it. So really nice feature on this for the Cincinnati, but most of them don't have that feature. So it just gives you that extra option that you can do a small movement here without moving the knee itself. More like you would have on a Bridgeport, where you have access to both. This is fully articulating here. You can rotate this in and out, and this whole assembly will rotate like that. So it's got quite a bit of flexibility on it for a big machine like this. Well, let's spin this up here. clutch, so you have to actually stop the motor before changing speeds. On the horizontal one, you use the clutch and the motor stays running. But some of the switches with the feeds and stuff, the electrical stuff, the machine's new to me. There's a bit to learn on it, so it's taken me a little to remember. Sometimes I forget to have one of the switches on the side here in the right position, so I'll go to start and it doesn't go, or the feed won't go. That's just me. I gotta get familiar with it. I will say the actual manual controls here for all the feeds are very intuitive on this. Let's see. Start that running, I think, before we'll feed. So you got left, you just pull it left. Right, just pull it right. Forward and back. Coming back towards you, going forward, push it in the other way. The knee, lift it to go up, push it down to go down. It's very intuitive. And on the rapids, let's see, can you see that? The rapids is this lever right here, and just like that. Go the other way. These other ones, that's a carriage lock for the Y-axis, and there's also a lock for the knee that's in the back. That one's a little, you gotta walk around to get that one, but you're probably not going to use that too often. On the X-axis, I believe it's these two screws to tighten the gids up. That'll lock the X-axis. I gotta get a wrench dedicated just for these, and also this here. I think they're the same size, so I can use the same wrench on it. This here is a clamp for the quill. It's a quill lock is what that is. Shut the noise a minute. So you got a handle here. This is for adjusting the angle on the head. You have to loosen up. There's 4 bolts here that loosen this just a little, and then you crank it to adjust the angle of the head. I'm going to leave it right now because it's set for 0. I am going to trim this all out once everything's set in place. I got to get this to the back of the shop. Probably going to be a bit of a project to get it back there, but I think that's the next thing in order. So we got 2 boxes, electrical boxes. We got this one here and this one up here. So this is for the overarm, and you know, it's old school relay stuff because this just ran all straight 3-phase, and this is an old machine, so this is how they did it. And down here, shutter power, that's our main breaker right there. Well, not really a breaker, it's a fuse. Yeah, I blew a fuse. Just did this just temporarily just to get it started here. I'm probably going to try and keep this breaker up here, or the switch for the fuses, but it will be arranged differently. So here's our relays that are in here. The transformers here and also up on the top, they just reduce power to run the solenoids, because this machine was originally set up for about 550 volts. It's an odd Canadian voltage industrial. That was part of the issue. Is when I bought this, I had to have the motors. Well, the guy that I bought it from offered to do it when I asked him about it, and he offered to have the motors rewound or changed. So very thankful that he offered to do that. Everything seems to be good on that. So there's one in the overarm. That was the big job because he actually had to take the gearbox open to do it. The motor's actually installed, well, it goes in through the back here, I believe, and resides somewhere in here. but the shaft goes through a wall up in here. There's a seal, and something that's basically like a Lovejoy, only it's all steel, that's on the other side. And so that had to be, this all had to be opened up so he could get the Lovejoy out and pull the shaft out the back. So really he had to do quite a bit of work here. So this motor, he just replaced that. So this isn't, well, I don't know if it's a new motor, you know, like brand new, but not the motor that was in here. He just replaced it instead of rewinding. It appears to be a good motor. I just don't have enough electrical power from this, because it's three-phase, but I'm taking 220 single-phase and using this to generate the third leg for three-phase. But this is only a 3/4 horsepower motor, so it's just simply not enough generated on that third phase to start a 7.5 horsepower motor. It tries, it turns a little, but it just won't catch up to speed. So the next step here, what I think I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to try and keep this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to reap all these solenoids down here, and probably the transformers as well. That's all going to be taken out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with VFD drives. There'll be 3 of them, one for each of the main motors. There'd be the knee motor, the overarm motor, and that big one in the back especially. We're going to run those all, each with their own VFD drive. I got to figure out the logic, which is pretty simple on this really. It's not that much to it. What I'm going to have to figure mostly is this valve up here that does the feeds. I got to make sure that operates properly. That I may need to keep a transformer for that. I got to check that out. But you know, it's nothing too complicated. I'll be able to get that. The question where I actually put the VFD drives, this box down here is pretty much close to airtight, so I don't think I really want to put a VFD drive in here because it could potentially overheat, I think. What I may do is at least mount 2 of them up here. There should be enough space. I don't know if I can get all 3 in here. And I can put some vents on the very back of it just to keep splashing from getting in. Let it cool from the back. But I don't want, you know, if there's any water from your coolant, we don't want it getting in here. Originally this was all gasketed and sealed. I mean, it's out of the way, so it shouldn't be too bad. But what I'll do, I'll probably put a vent right here, and I think that'll work good. But that's pretty much the plan. So now I just got to get it back here. We're going to put it behind the lathe. I can't really see it. There's a mark down on the floor there. We're going to put it so the end of the table extended reaches there, and the other stops about a foot short of that vise on the bench there. And I'm going to have the working side will be over here. I'll be facing this way, same as the lathe. So this gives me, this will be my machine shop area, right in through here, and the mill will be out here. And that's my woodworking area out there. Oh, I got a bandsaw too. I think I already did a video on that. So that's going to be in the middle of the floor here, out behind the mill. And then the center section, I got to keep that clear because that's, if I do any kind of automotive stuff, that's where it happens. So I think that pretty well covers it for now. And once I get it in back and we get the VFD drives, I'll come back and show the progress.